Welcome back to the program. So the Afia Morning Show live from TINUBU'S, Nigeria. I'm Nathalie Ukwu, and this is saying welcome to a Friday and happy Eid al-Malid to all our Muslim brothers and sisters joining us from across the globe and of course down here in the southeast region. Oji Wachiko as always is here as we wrap up the week. Oji, Friday seemed like yesterday and another Friday is here again.
Another Friday, and definitely it's Friday, and thank God it's Friday.
Yeah.
And happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you as well. I don't have your time this morning, so I'm not actually going to start going about that. I'll just leave you to your happy Friday. And I'm going to just keep it cascading all through the show. Yeah. So we have CeeCee Emchebe, the producer, presenter, Afia Sports Show, joining us this morning. Happy Friday to you, Mr. CeeCee.
I wish the same.
Oh, you threw the happy Friday to me.
I warned you. Since you mentioned it, we'll keep going round and round.
This is nice.
How do you feel about our new studio set? Well, pretty much revamped slightly.
Yeah, revamped, some subtle nuances here and there, and I mean it's really heartwarming and it's really welcoming. I think I like what I'm seeing.
So if you walk on,
I'm sure our audience will like what they're seeing.
If you walk on, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure that's what you just said.
Right now.
So our permutation, Nigeria, Rwanda tomorrow.
Well, in all honesty, it's the boys know what's at stake.
Yeah.
Currently, Nigeria are fourth on the log in Group C of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers, and with 7 points.
Have they deducted the South African?
That's a major controversial issue because it seems as though FIFA is silent on the matter. They've not said anything, and there's an assumption that FIFA is waiting for the results to come out this international window before clamping down. Okay. So it's just a conspiracy theory anyway, but the truth of the matter is that all eyes on FIFA to do the right thing. They have to deduct those points from South Africa.
Okay, nice. So you think our boys are going to finally have a headway?
Well, it's not just dependent on them. Our boys have gotten to a point, under Eric Sekuchel, they've gotten to a point where they have to get the results, but they also have to rely on a bit of a helping hand from other teams that they have in Lesotho, you have a Zimbabwe, you have a Benin Republic, and the rest of them in the same group. So basically win all your games, but make sure that you get more points than the others.
Okay, that's right. Let's take a look at headlines making the news this morning and see if we have anything on sports. Beginning with this day. Jonathan, Nigerian politics is full of traitors, liars. They will tell you something, the next hour they are saying another. Says he has witnessed a lot of betrayals. CBN replacing civil servants with APC members as LG account signatories, says Oshun Algon. Demands urgent investigation. Giorgio Armani, iconic Italian fashion designer, dies at 91. On Vanguard, opposition mounts against federal government's 5% tax on petrol, diesel. We won't allow APC rig 2027 polls, according to Ambassador Issa. TINUBU'S development agenda driven by national interest, not politics, according to a minister. Straight to Daily Trust, as federal government issues fresh flood alerts, Taraba communities submerged. Ex-soldiers resume protest over unpaid entitlements. TINUBU departs for Europe on 10-day vacation. How I was betrayed, according to Jonathan. Police invite El Rufai ADC leaders over alleged criminal conspiracy. On Daily Independent, opposition queries TINUBU'S admin revenue growth claims. Nigeria's politics full of betrayals, lies, says Jonathan. INEC receives 171 letters of intent for registration of political parties. Confirms 2.8 million voters for Anambra gubernatorial poll. 80 million Nigerian youths unemployed, 1,500 schools shut in 2 years, according to a report. Also here, federal government eyes 10 billion SCF of gas production by 2030. Police summon El Rufai, top ADC chieftains. Lagos raises the alarm over looming environmental collapse of Lagoon. IGP names CSP Benjamin Hundeyin as new force PRO. And of course also here, TINUBU heads to Europe on working vacation. On Nigerian Tribune, most Nigerian politicians not dependable, according to Jonathan. Says politics in Nigeria is about betrayals. They will tell you something this minute, in the next hour they say another, he adds. Oshun Algon raises alarm over alleged plot to divert local government funds. Showdown looms between Ayedatiwa, local government bosses, on FAC funds. Non-oil revenue target OBI tackles TINUBU, wants president to suspend new tax regime, says leadership is about reducing burden.
Starting from the Matrix, insecurity, military in fresh crackdown on terrorists, bandits, kills 26 terrorists, suspected kidnappers, key bandit kingpins in Benue, Borno, Plateau State, destroys 17 illegal refining sites in Niger Delta. Tearful Zamfara governor vows, by the way, to crush banditry in 60 days. Eve can catch that on page 2 of the Matrix. ADC to Tinubu, your revenue claims based on lies, says 5% petrol tax cruel. Insensitive. Dangote Group warns truck drivers against misuse of company's logo. FG slashes 1.85 billion naira on education rehabilitation of rescued Chibok girls. RFI ADC leaders face police probe over alleged conspiracy, public unrest. I beg your pardon. Tinubu departs Abuja for 10-day working vacation in Europe. Moving over to Leadership Friday. I beg your pardon. Northern governors back Tinubu's renewed push for state police. Arewa Consultative Forum, Afenifere Middle Belt Forum also support president's resolve. After family of 3 tragic death, Abuja Council moves against out. Police invites El Rufai 6 other ADC leaders for questioning. Wiki unveils 50% fertilizer subsidy for Abuja farmers. Flood alerts issued to 9 northern, 5 southern states. Daily Sun. FG considers regional system new constitution. Osinbajo tags church on building new Nigeria. Nwachukwu renews call for true federalism. Ekon renews for Okonkwo over stands against bad governance orders. Incumbent legislators more corrupt than predecessors, says Obasanjo, calls how lawmakers almost frustrated establishment of EFCC, channel revenue surplus into job creation, pension payments. Obi tells Tinubu, Igbo leaders demand lifting of economic blockade on eastern ports, support call for Anyoma State. Blueprint. FG to states, LGs. Increase your health budgets, ensure full releases. Core responsibilities lie with sub-nationals. Basic Health Care Fund, NHIA, others may support. Current funding can't meet needs of 220 million Nigerians, attributed to Bagudu. How I was betrayed during 2025 elections, attributed to Goodluck Jonathan. Your grievances you conceived, the HQ tells protesting ex-soldiers. Troops arrest 85 suspected terrorists, rescue 66 victims. Moving over to the Daily Monitor. I witnessed a lot of betrayals during 2015 polls. Jonathan says many Nigerian politicians are not dependable. Amnesty International urges probe into Southeast killings. States must prioritize health spending, says Pates. Insecurity now at an existential level in Nigeria, says OBI. IGP approves appointment of Windain as new FPRO. Tinubu remains committed to economic diversification, attributed to Shetima. Mobilization allowance vacates finance ministry premises. DHQ warns retired soldiers, says protests lack merits. Disrupt government activities. Troops kill terrorists. Nab 85 suspects. Rescue 66 victims. Foil 445.8 million naira oil thefts in August.
All right, we're going on a quick break now. When the Morning Show returns, we'll delve into analysis of these headlines and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm still watching the Afia Morning Show. Thank you for staying tuned. Of course, we're still here with Afia Sports Show producer, presenter CeeCee Emchebe. Of course, I also know him from the sports show on radio every morning. And he just did that before he came on set to join us. So I'm giving you an overhauling morning, CeeCee. Well, thank you all the same.
No problem. No complaints here.
All right. I mean, you never complain, actually. That's one thing. You're a very pragmatic man. I can say that.
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Yeah. So let's look at the news. I think we'll start from where Mr. President has gone off to on a 10-day working vacation, rather, to Europe. and his trip is going to include the United Kingdom and France. He departed Abuja yesterday. We're already seeing Shehu Sani slamming him that he understands the word working, understands the word vacation, but what he doesn't understand is working vacation. Now, we know that President Tinubu has been criticized multiple times for his frequent trips abroad. I mean, since he assumed office, he has been traveling so much, so often. What's your reaction to his working visit just yesterday?
Well, thank you very much once again, Natalie.
Working vacation.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Basically, it's a sort of laughter and mockery to many, but there could be some merit to it. I choose not to look for the merit in a big to it because I'm checking how detrimental his trips are to the economy. That's the simple truth, because we have economic issues in Nigeria alongside other problems like insecurity. Now, if it's a case whereby these trips are maybe beneficial to the economy, beneficial to other things, you're strengthening ties, you're bringing alliances that are bettering the lot of the average Nigerian, then I would be okay. If you like, travel up to 25 times in a month, no problem, as long as we're seeing the visible results. But it's a paradox in itself. You talk about a working vacation. So I echo his sentiments. Basically, vocation and vacation together. How do you explain that? But really, I think Mr. President needs to stop developing thick skin to the concerns of people. Not everybody is maybe an opposition member who is trying to undermine his every motive and his every move. The truth of the matter is that for an economy, and let's face the fact, as it is right now, because of the economic challenges we're having, there is a sort of regrowth that the economy should experience. And when you're in a growing economy, there's a need to be settled. You settle down and then stay there when the economy is growing. So all these trips send the wrong message. These frequent trips are now trying to insult the sensibilities of many by calling it a working vacation.
But this is a part of his 2025 annual leave plan. So he is entitled to go on holiday.
Yeah, no disputes there. That's the point. It's now the paradox that I have a problem with. If it's a vacation, call it a vacation. If it's vocation, call it vocation. Don't call it vacation. That's working vacation. Just call it what it is. Don't try and pull wool over our eyes, because he's entitled to that. It is right.
But your president is hardworking, actually. He doesn't rest. Like, even when he's on the vacay, he's working.
Okay, I'm trying.
That's impression.
I'm trying not to look beneath the surface of what you're saying, OG. But the truth of the matter, yes, our president should be working, and then we should see the results of the work. He has had the better part of more than 2 years to work and then bring the results. It's not about blowing your trumpet. It's not about traveling outside the country to Brazil and then telling the Brazilians that corruption is gone from Nigeria when the reality is totally different. It's all about putting your money where your mouth is. And then, at least, I don't know how some people sleep at night. You go for a vacation when your house is burning. So that's what I'm talking about. The president needs to be a bit more sensitive to the plight of the average Nigerian. So I'm all for vacation. In fact, I love vacations. It's a time to rewire, so you can actually retreat in order to advance. And that should happen, especially somebody at his age. He's 73. But
right.
To be honest, I think he needs to just be honest to Nigerians.
All right, CeeCee, hold that thought. We'll have to go on a quick break now. When we return, continue assessing other headlines. The morning show returns shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Okay, we're back, and of course, Oji has other headlines you would like us to look at this morning. Still following up on President Tinubu's trip, his working vacation to UK.
I don't indulge that conversation because sarcastically, I probably might say what.
But you already said he is a hard-working president. I thought you told that line continuously.
He's a hard-working president, by the way. But to be fair, if you attain that height on that position, right? There's not really a vacation for your rest, because you'll be getting reports every other time. So you're working indirectly. You're working. Anything's happening in Nigeria, they're sending you these reports. There are some signatures that only you can, sign on those dots for anything to be applicable, right? So to be fair to the president, if he's tagging it a working vacation, apparently he knows that, that there's no rest. You ruling a nation or governing a state, but that's by the way. Go to Vanguard. Opposition mounts against FG's 5% tax on petrol and diesel. So come January 2026, we've already gotten the communique that for every fuel, petrol you purchase, there's gonna be a 5% attachment to it. So if you're buying 10,000 naira worth of fuel from January 2026, it's gonna be 10,500. What's your take on this? And pundits and critics are already, wagging their tongues that this is not the way to go.
Is this it tangs or tongues? Or
tongues, actually. That this is not the way to go. They have been overbearing. This government has been overbearing and taxing the hell out of the citizens.
When you say tang, I just sort of some kind of punch. I mean, that's the only kind of tang I know. But no worries. Go ahead, CeeCee.
Okay, really, when I saw that report and I saw the plans of the federal government to do that, to add yet another tax, because I mean, taxes have become the norm. And really, when you talk about taxing is very important, because there's no other way you can bring about the amenities, bring about the resources rather to maintain the structural greatness of a country, of a community. You look at the amenities, look at infrastructure, look at different things that have to put in place. You look at education, look at water, free supply of water, look at roads, you look at healthcare, look at a number of all these factors. These are very important and they are powered by taxes. Now, in a situation where you're not seeing these basic amenities and services that have been promised, then the taxes become burdensome. The taxes become a subject for discussion. And now, to add to the different taxes that are coming in, you're talking about fuel tax, 5%, effective from January. Now, these are my thoughts. I'm trying to avoid being sentimental about it, but these are my thoughts, because it's going to affect everybody, ranging from the billionaire to the pauper that maybe needs just a little fuel to power his generator. Just basically, So it's going to be a crunch on everyone. 5%. For every 10,000 naira fuel you buy, 500 naira is added there. For every 1,000 naira fuel you buy, because I have to come down to the level of the masses now, you're talking about 50 naira. You say 50 naira is nothing, but when you add it up, you see the amount of money you're being ripped off. Now, these are my thoughts. It's either of two things. It's either this government is very insensitive because they have to provide a sort of soft landing for the citizens, and then make sure that they're earning properly. You're talking about with minimum wages, for instance. Just recently, I think it was in Imo State, the governor, Uzodinma, approved minimum wage of, I'm trying to remember exactly how much, 150,000 or so.
It was well over 100,000.
Yes, about 120, 150. I can't remember the exact figure, but I
think it was 104,000, but let me just confirm it.
Around 5.
Yeah, there's something minimum within that range, at least over 100. Let's say 105 or thereabouts.
100 plus.
Which is good. And 100 plus, which is sometimes audio, but that's by the side.
I heard what you just put in there, but it's fine. Let's go ahead.
It has to be implemented. But the point I'm trying to make is this. When things like that are being implemented across board, and we're seeing
I was actually correct. 104,000 naira.
104,000. Thank you for that fact checking.
When you said 150, that sounded so good. But
I was hopeful. I think I was hopeful. It's good to be optimistic. But the truth of the matter is this: even if it's being established across board that these monies are being earned, and then the quality of life, quality of living in Nigeria is stepped up, the taxes that come in, I still ask the question. It's either of two things. It's either the government is being insensitive to the plight of the average Nigerian, or the government, when I say the government, I'm not calling individuals, but the policymakers, the ones who are bringing this out, probably they are the puppets.
Right.
Because there's a puppet master sometimes behind. I'm not saying that's the case, but it looks like that, because how insensitive can you be to add a 5% tax on fuel, petrol, that's procured in the filling stations, unless someone is singing the song in your ears and telling you what.
And also, you could actually add that they've removed the subsidy regards to the CNG.
Yeah, so that's a major point there. But it's really, all this is mere speculation. And for me, all speculation is valueless until we know exactly what's working behind the scenes. But
I think it's somewhat sacrosanct that what's it called, in January, that's the new fate for Nigerians.
It's going to be a rough road ahead unless there's proper communication and then a soft landing for Nigerians. Because if Nigerians are going to go through hardship at least alleviate that hardship by providing.
Put in contrast, let's be fair. I love being fair. Just coming from a very nice prism. I love being fair. Let's be fair, and just look through this dispensation, right? We've experienced a whole lot in this country, and we know that before we get it right, we have to go through rigorous dead process, right? Before we see that light. Let's be fair. From indicators and things you're seeing panning out in the country at this present time, do you think that we are going to get something right at the end of maybe this first dispensation or leading to the second tenor, by the way? Do you think that there is a headway, with all the policies they are making? Well, people might say that they're not feeling the pulse, right there in the street, by the way. But do you think from indicators like the pointers that maybe at the end of the tunnel there will be this vivid and very conspicuous light?
Okay, first of all, I have to point out what you talked about. The issue when you talked about the fair, is it a nice prison? Initially, I thought you said prison, and I said, okay, it's a prison. That's a very good play on words because anybody could interpret that any way they choose to. But be that as it may, let's be fair. I believe strongly, like you, in fairness. Call a spade, not a garden implement, and then always try to judge each case on its own merit. The government has shown some policies, has laid out a few plans, and these plans are meant to be working out something. Yes, we know that, okay, for instance, if you talk in agricultural terms, there are different kinds of crops. You have annual crops, you have biennial crops, you have perennial crops. Now, each of them have different levels of, their gestation period it varies. Some you have to wait for years before you start getting returns. Some you wait for months before you start getting returns. So I get that, I understand, but we're not seeing, like when I say we, I think I'm echoing the sentiments of many Nigerians. We're not really seeing the light at the end of the tunnel unless you're looking with an APC prison. So an APC prison.
Another one.
Because this is not, I'm trying to avoid politics, a political discussion here. But the reality is this. If you're making reforms, there has to be some, maybe like a silver lining somewhere. You say that you have policies that are bettering a lot of Nigerians. How many of the Nigerians will come out and say point blank, objectively, things are looking up. Things are much better now than they were in 2015, than they were in 2023. I think you get where I'm going to right now with this. Because if you seem to be clueless in your implementation of plans and policies, then it's the Nigerians that will suffer it. And so far, I've not seen anybody who is smiling and then, waving on the government and saying, wonderful reforms, things are happening, and then showing the results in your pockets. We've seen cases of people who are trumpet blowers of the administration, but at the end of the day, they've either decamped or they are voicing their frustrations, either in private or in public.
It's great that you talked about trumpet blowing because former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan has made some strong remarks of late. He said that Nigerian politics is full of traitors and liars. How do you feel about that assertion and what it means for the prospects for him to probably run in 2027? And the revelation made, are you surprised that Nigerian politics is full of liars and betrayers?
In all honesty, I think for him to come out and say that, in life there are many constants. Some things are constant: rain, taxes, death, and then politics full of betrayal and treachery. It's a normal thing. So that's the name of the game.
How do you tag it? You don't want to say it.
I'll try to avoid
saying it.
But the truth of the matter is that that's what politics is. I've said it before on this show that politics is essentially power play. And what you do with the power is now up to you. It depends on your values, depends on your conscience, depends on your what you call your priorities in life. So now it shouldn't come as a surprise to us. This is hardly a newsflash. Naturally there'll be betrayal. We saw it at its prime in 2015. So he's saying what is obvious.
How was he betrayed in 2015?
He had many people who are inside in the same party. I won't call names. There are some people who are in the same party who started, who saw the lights on the other side from the opposition coming in there, who were even part of, allegedly, I have to say allegedly part of the plans to destabilize the government because he wasn't of the same ilk as they. Whether I'm talking from a religious standpoint or from a tribal standpoint is left for interpretation. But the point is, they were of a different ilk as he, and they felt that the person that was in the opposition was of the same language and the same communication with them.
Well, let's be fair, right? Again, I watch it from not APC prism, real life. During that election, power was the gentleman agreement of Nigerians. It's not in our constitution. It's meant to be moving to the north, right? Do you think that probably this could actually be the reason why what happened? That at that point in time, everyone was expecting, okay, you've done this tenure, you continued from the late president, and you've done this tenure. Why campaign or vie for another tenure, which was meant to be at that point in time shifting power to the northern part of the country?
There's a lot of merits to that argument, but I'm trying not to punch holes in that argument, because even before the issue of zoning came into the picture, we know that the former president, the late president, His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, was involved in the campaigns in the previous elections there. He ran under different parties there, and at the time the zoning was not favorable to the north. At the time, that's the region in question, the north. But he was insisting on running and also spitting out hell and fire after losing the elections. We know about those quotes, those alleged quotes. Yes, they're on record, but let's just, for the sake of argument, call them allegations. Alleged quotes of people being soaked in the blood of baboons and goats or dogs or whatever it is. So all those different things, that rhetoric was there. It's all coming from this same thing I've talked about on this program. The issue of a sense of entitlement. Yes, I know that zoning creates entitlement. It's my turn, which is essentially the language of the president currently. It's my turn. It's my turn. I'm the one that's in front and all that. So that sense of entitlement is what pushes many to do that. So probably, yes, there is merit to that argument. Jonathan was not supposed to run in their book, but Jonathan felt that he had done enough, building on the legacy of the late Umar Musa Yar'Adua, and then he had already created a stable economy, which was now being destabilized thanks to the introduction of Boko Haram, the Chibok girls. People feel that these were deliberate attempts to sabotage his government. And then, of course, the zoning just became the final icing on the cake. But really, at the end of the day, zoning has its merits and demerits. But they were leveraging on the fact that there was zoning. So I have to agree with you in that regard. But still, that doesn't mean that betrayal should be that obvious. We are seeing it a lot, but it's still the language of politics, because somebody once said something, whether the person is truthful or not, but it's what we are seeing, that in politics, in the corridors of power, they are neither friends nor enemies. You only have allies and foes. And you talk about personal interests. So basically, there will be treachery if you're not aligning to my personal interests. I'm talking from a politician standpoint. So really, I mean, that's what it is.
All right, let's move a little bit to the foreign scene. Giorgio Armani, iconic Italian fashion designer, dies at 91. I mean, this news went viral on social media yesterday, but bringing it back to the region, bringing it back to Nigeria, we had more people concerned about the fact that he was unmarried and did not have children. They asked, who would he leave his, well, shall we say, his estate to, right? Reports revealed that he was closest to his niece, who ended up leaving her job and starting to work with him. But I mean, the brand, Giorgio Armani, basically was what everybody knew. They probably didn't even know if he was still here or if he was not, because the brand just became him. And it was a very, very expensive brand, a luxury brand, so to speak. How did you react to the sentiment down here in the region, down here in Nigeria, when this icon passed away?
You know, honestly, when I heard people saying those things, now being concerned about matters that don't concern them, you're pursuing a rat when your house is burning. Okay, Giorgio Armani, first of all, I don't know many Nigerians who are Italians. I don't know. And then coupled with that, this is Giorgio Armani who, like you said, built a brand for himself while he stayed unmarried and had no children. Well, we know about the allegations. We know about that amongst many of these designers. We saw it with Gianni Versace. When he died, he left everything. When he was killed, he was murdered in 1997. It was his sister, Donatella Versace, that took over that. That was his closest relative. Why he wasn't married, we all know, but no need to talk about that on air. Likewise, Giorgio Armani, people like Yves Saint Laurent also, and the rest of even Tom Ford, who is big on suits and everything right now. We all know their orientation, but let's leave that aside. The point is this: if he's going to leave his estate worth billions to his pet Chihuahua, I don't see how that concerns the Nigerian. So that was my own thoughts there. If he has decided in his will to leave his estate to someone or something, that's his prerogative. It's his choice. He's dead. The brand lives on. Whether the brand will be sustained is now left to his choice. It's now a reflection of his choice in the matter, his choice of the heir. So really, I was bemused. Let's just put it that way. I was bemused and really wondering at how ridiculous Nigerians can be when they don't have a stake.
That's succinctly put, isn't it? Leadership Friday, Northern governors back Tinubu's renewed push for state police. How do you feel about state police gaining momentum, as Tinubu said, or still says, he'll be back in a bit?
I have my concerns. State policing has its merits and demerits. We've talked about this several times. We see it like in the United States of America, a typical case, like the policing force is decentralized. The police, let's say the police outfit that is answerable to the presidency is the FBI. Let's just put it that way, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's their own level. But when you talk about the police departments, police force, they are not even answerable to the governors. They're answerable to the mayors. The mayors are local government chairmen here, based on equivalence.
Yeah.
So that means, for instance, in New Haven, the New Haven Police Department should be answerable not to His Excellency Governor Peter Mba, following that.
But the mayor of Enugu South.
But the mayor of Enugu North.
North. South. That's
Enugu
South, right?
South, yes. Is it?
Enugu North is here.
Enugu North.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Enugu North covers, I think, New Haven, Independence Layout.
So Enugu South is Ogbete around Jerry here.
Down towards
Barrister Ono. Yeah.
So that area, that Enugu North area, the local government chairman of Enugu North should be the one that the New Haven Police Department is answerable to. You get what I'm trying to say? So really, when you check that, that means the whims and caprices of the mayor or the local government chairman will actually affect the effectiveness or lack thereof of the police force. So if you're talking about state police, naturally state police means that they're going to be under the jurisdiction of the state governor. Imagine a state governor who has big issues with the federal government. Just imagine, for the sake of argument, yes, I know this is a risk, but let me say it. Imagine a Wike Pro Max having state police. We all know I think your guess is as good as mine, where this is going, because power in the hands of a good man ends up bringing out good outcomes. Power in the hands of a not so good man ends up bringing out not so good outcomes. So that's my issue with state policing. It's going to bring a certain level of sanity if the governor is good and has the goodwill and also the willpower to effect change, law and order. But if not, that is my concern.
All right. Thank you so much, CeeCee, for joining the review this morning. I mean, we could go on forever, right?
Time was just flying.
Yeah, time was.
Thank God for Friday.
Yeah, then went to the south and went back to the north, then the north, and then went to the south.
And sometimes these things confuse you, right? But then again, Enugu North and Enugu South.
You're right, Oji. You're right.
I was right.
You're right.
I'm on your right.
Thank you, CeeCee. I actually on the left.
Sorry, no, you're on my right. I made a mistake again. I'm on your left. You're on my right. So I write things and you left things.
I think I'm enjoying this.
Let's go. Let's go, please.
Please close up on this man.
News.
Please close up on this man.
Stay tuned, and after the news, we'll come back for Around the Region.